Okay, I guess it's time to start. Time to start. Hello everyone, how is it going? So what are we doing today? And check that out in the project. Yeah, so I have. Oh, it's not me, but these people. There is this flow. I need tailwind. Hello people, how are you doing? How's it going, chat? So what I'm doing today, there is this approach to generate all the classes for Tailwind, the types basically for those classes, and it creates quite a huge file. So we go to spheres. By the way, that's the link here. Spheres. That's the app that we have to list who. Not that one. It's this one. If some of the key and the clarity parameters are live, and you might want to add your stream if you want there. So for now it's me. Yeah, so this is for pure script, but I will be writing Haskell code. So it generates this file, which is 76k lines, and I think it's like around 19,000 classes. I know it could be optimized from Tailwind side with some magic, like not to generate everything and whatnot, but maybe it's easier to do it from like a CLI program that will check which ones are used and only keep here the ones that are used. So we go to pages. Yep. There we go. So if you see, we have all the classes that are used, right? And the idea then is to parse these classes and create a list of the ones that are being used, and then in the Tailwind file, then we can like filter out this file. We can generate this file again with only the ones that are needed. So I'm doing that in Haskell because that's kind of what I know to do parser combinators, and it's quite fast. So what do I have already? I was coding last night, I think. Today woke up quite early, and that's also so what do we have? Let's run it. So far I'm able to list all the files that will be used later, and I'm able to parse CSS, yes, to parse the list of classes. So instead of generating it as Tailwind like this, I changed the generator to create basically the name, semicolon, and the actual class, the CSS class, right? This is the pure script identifier, and this is the real class, which is similar to what we have here. Pure script identifier, and then this thing is. So I'm able to parse that already, and now what do we have? I was playing around. I think we can comment out this. So yeah. But so now what I'm trying to do is, what's the file? Used classes. Yes. So now I'm trying to parse this and I'm having some errors. But maybe I can start with a walkthrough of what I did so far. So we have this bunch of code here, which is the tree of traverse a directory. Yeah, it reads a directory and it produces basically a tree of directories. Reads a directory, finds the files and directories, and yeah, just creates this tree and does some filtering. So we only want to keep script files, and we want to do some, yeah, ignore some paths. Then what else? That is all the code for that. Run foo. Okay, so that yeah, that needs a different name, but let's print files. Yeah, let's put it like that. Then we have the code. This is very simple, very short. This is the code that parses this file. So we have CSS class, which has two strings. The first one is the identifier, and then the second one is the actual name of the class. So this is just parsing a single class and then parsing many of them with n-byte. I had some issues with parsing with sep-by, which is a parser combination for separators. But so n-byte takes p, which is what we are going to parse, this is class, and the separator, which is the spaces, because they are separated by a new line. And then parses 0 or more occurrences of p separated and ended by the separator. So I don't know why sep-by didn't work. So if we were to run these instead of this one, yeah, we get an error. Well, we get the error 3 times because we're printing it 3 times. In the last line, unexpected end of input, but not sure why is it, because implementation of sep-by, can take a look at it. Maybe we can discover that today, chat. If you are an expert on parser combinators, let me know. Yeah, so the implementation does basically sep-by 1 or just the empty list. If it didn't work, that's fine. And what does sep-by 1? Sep-by 1 parses the p, parser p, and then many, which the separator and p, and that should work for this thing here, because it will be basically parsing this one and then this one. Oh, sorry, it will be parsing the separator and then this after the first one, right? So when this many, it doesn't, it can parse 0 basically. So I don't know why it doesn't work. I don't know if it has to, yeah, but if I change it to, where were we? No, and by, we can run this as well. Print files. Yeah, so now it worked. It parsed the 19,095 classes. So I don't know why, but we'll ignore it for now. And now we're trying to parse one step at a time the classes in the pure script code. So for now we're parsing this, and I think the problem that I have, because it's also not working, so what they do, I have to parse something between brackets, which is just using the between combinator, and then we parse the spaces just to ignore them. And then what do? We parse the HP classes, which is yeah, but this is how we import the definition. So this is, and we will ignore that. So with this operator we ignore it, then we parse the spaces, and then we parse the class parser, which is this one, separated by the separator, which is the comma. And I think the problem here is the separator, so not the separator, but the fact that I'm trying to parse with spaces. So what if we remove the spaces for now? Yeah, so that worked. We got the list of things. We got this one and this one. That's what we want. And now if I add, nope, here, if I add the spaces, as it will be, it might be like that, or it might be like this. So there will be, yeah, there are many options for spaces. So we parse the HP classes thing, then we parse the spaces, and we ignored all of that. And then between brackets, so we ignore the space after the bracket, and we ignore the spaces before the closing bracket, which we can put this here. Can I tag this? No. Okay. CSS, yeah, uses classes. Okay, so yeah, so we ignore this space, and then we ignore the spaces here, those spaces. So that's fine, but we need to ignore also the spaces between, right? So I think I had written these as these spaces. We ignore those, and then we parse the comma, and we ignore the spaces after. But this gives me an error, because it's expecting the space or a comma, but instead it got this. And I think it's because it starts to parse here. So yeah, starts to parse the separator, and because, so if it was like this, I think it will work. Nope. Okay. Yeah, it's this one that we're parsing, not the one. Yes. So we are parsing the first occurrence. You see, yeah, okay. So the problem is there then. And probably we need to parse the things after the comma, but not before, right? Keep opening this main. Okay, so that worked. And now what about this one? Okay, so now we get an error in line 3, column 3, where we get the unexpected comma, expecting a space or brackets. So line 3, yes. So we need to take into consideration, I think it's this, right? So we can parse the class, and then we parse all the spaces after it. So if we have spaces here, right, we will parse this until here, and then we will parse the comma and all the spaces after. The same here, we will parse this. Yeah, I think that should work. Load. No. Great. What's the problem now? So again, if we have this, like this, let me close this because I keep opening it. Yeah, so if we have it like that, it works. But if we add spaces between the comma, it doesn't. So we get an expected comma, we were expecting a space or this. Did I save? Maybe I didn't save. I didn't save, that worked. Okay, so let's put it in the different versions that we might find. The peers src page. Okay, we want anything, right? So we have this occurrence. This is the same. Then we have this one. Maybe we can copy this one. And I think that's kind of it. There are no other versions. Right? Okay. What about this? Should be valid. Okay, so class, how can we parse many of these? If we say many, it will fail. No, if we put it, I think we can say step by spaces. That should probably work. Nope, expected y space or t, but then I found. Okay, now I wonder if it's. Let's see. Okay, so this failed. And we are parsing, yes, because we are parsing step by one. He actually wants a step over here. Okay, so that's an empty list. And then, so it was step by spaces. So see if this works on parsing all of them. unexpected n of input. Expecting. What if I use the. Okay, that worked. So we have the first two are empty, then we have these two, these other two again, and then we have the long list. Okay, so this is working so far. What's up, chat? How is it going? No questions today? Does anything of this make sense? Okay, so the real TypeScript file will have a module. We'll have some imports. For example, this, and then we can import prelude, right? And make this a TypeScript file. So we can say and that first. And then we just, yeah, we can copy all of these, but let's remove some stuff. So let's leave it like there. Yeah, keep some stuff and some stuff we want. So where was the T? Handle action ignored. Then we have enough things to parse here. Okay, so this is when I'm not sure if Parser Combinator is the best idea or not, because I want to use Parser Combinators to extract from this file, parsing this, I want to be able to extract all of the list of classes, right? And I'm not sure. Maybe I should approach it differently. Maybe I could, for example, split it into lines and just try to find these in the lines. What's the best way? I don't want to use regex. But maybe regex in this case is the best. So, because how do we parse this? First of all, if there is no import with this, you know there will be no I think we could also do something like kind of like tokenizing, like parsing one character at a time until we find the right thing. Which may also be something that makes sense. So how did we do? What was it? Validity. Oh. Command extractor, yes. We did something kind of similar with Franco the other day. So how did it work? We were extracting comments out of a file and it didn't work in TypeScript, so I did kind of just because it was very slow there. I wanted to validate if it will be fast in Haskell. So how does it work? It tries. Okay. Then many of these. Okay. So is there a text? Text. What do we have in text? Basic interface. Any, all, no. Take while, drop, break, span. Is infix off. In unlikely but cases, this function complete. Okay, but I think this is okay. It's infix off, so we can check, right? So we could do an approach similar there. So if it has this, we parse it. Otherwise, we skip it. That will be for a file, and then assuming it has it, we just look for everything. How was it? So we had kind of like this fake AST where we could have the different nodes were the line comment, the block comment, chart, like a single code or a string literal, doesn't matter. So we could do something like that here, right? Okay, so instead of parsing this, let's leave it for now, but this is what we want. This is what we want. Then we want data AST, we'll give it a better name, but that can be class, can be tailwind class, this thing, or can be a char node, char, which we can ignore, right? Deriving or so, and then we just filter out those. Okay, so a node will be a parser of the AST, and then will be either class E, right, which we want to then parse to the class. That's parser of AST. And then if that doesn't work, so we try that, parser try, and otherwise we do any char, which will be char node B. That's also a parser of AST. And then we do any char. Then we do char node. What's wrong here? Okay, that compiled. Okay, so now we will want to then filter. So is tailwind. Yeah, we'll filter out, but then actually we can do cat maybes or something. So what I want here, because I will have a list of AST, right? And what I want is a list of a string. So maybe I can do AST to maybe string, right? And then there's something like that. A to maybe B of A. B. I think that's map maybe. But still working. You can search map. A. Yeah, that's exactly what I want. Thank you, Google. Map maybe, and this is in data maybe. Okay, so yeah, that's name. Maybe I don't know. That's the tailwind class name. Just name. Right, that should work. So then we do, it's a different file, the one that we want to parse. Main, but first we do many nodes. Then we want to maybe cut. Yeah. What's the either? Ah, okay. So we need to map twice. Map. That doesn't work either. Yes. Either parser or maybe type map maybe, not cat maybe. Hello chat, am I muted or what? Yeah, it's missing the function. Get class name. Yeah, man. Okay, nice. That worked much better than I thought it would. So we got. Okay, let's do something better here. So let's extract that into a right, because we know it's the one, and class it. And then we do map. Hello, Laika the human. Nice. That's good because I know that you're a human and not a bot. Right? Thank you for the follow. Map M, print, and then class. Right. The real Maten. Hey, how you doing? I've seen you around in the PS lab. Thank you also for the follow. Okay, so we got all of those classes, and then we can do our she right in main course. And it seems like item center. Yeah, it seems like we got the same list. Yeah. Let's say that we got it. Okay. So we don't need these because, yeah, we don't need this. Basically. But we can do this probably in the parser. So we can say get classes. This would be a parser of a list of strings. And classes will parse many nodes, and then it will map that with map maybe, map maybe, and get class name. Yes. So now we don't need this, and we just do class. Yeah, that works. So we get the list of classes. Why are we printing twice? Because we are doing it twice. Okay, so we get the list of classes. Now, and if I leave this here, no, we don't want that. Yeah, so this is the list of files, and then we have the list of classes, and we also have here, but we are going to only print the length. We also have, yep, this is the list of all the classes, basically the 19,000 ones. So now we want to parse all of those files, and we want to extract all of these classes. So print files, what's this? A list of yeah, but actually we want to get the list of files. List files, and this should be IO of file path, right? So instead of return, probably oh yes. File file view. So we list the files. Right. Will be yeah. And okay, yeah, we have those. So we have the list of files, and now for each one we want to do this parse from file, but we want to do it only in the case that it includes the Tailwind import. So we can do text parse file. Extract classic. This is a parser, actually IO of a string. So we'll get the list of classes. No, either string or that's better. So extract classes, and we get the file path. So what do? We read the file first. Paste text. And text IO read file path port. Yeah, the text IO. I'm sorry. Yeah, this one. Text IO, yes. So we read the constant of the file, and then if text is infix of contents, then if it is, we do the parsing, else pure hide and an empty list. So here what do? We do port, what was it? This is what we want to check that is in the file before parsing it. And it's infix of put defined here actually. So qualify to text. overloaded things. Where is Franco when you need it? I have a friend that makes fun of Haskell because we are putting overloaded streams all the time. So let's put it in fix. Yeah, is should be in fix here. What's the motivation for using Parsec instead of Megaparsec? That's a good question. That's the one I learned with. I learned with Parsec, and so far for the things I use, it works fine. But eventually I should try Megaparsec or Autoparsec or some of the others. There is no real motivation. Actually, it's just that I learned with this one, and for the things I've done so far, it worked. But maybe you have, maybe you can convince me to use Megaparsec. Yeah, so we want to struct the class. I have the contents already. I was doing parse from file. So how do we do the parsing? Yeah. Parse. Do we have parse? Yes. Run parser. The later has some nice tweaks. Good parse errors are often mentioned while mostly having the same interface. Nice. Yeah, the errors. I mean, I'm curious about the errors because, yeah, parsec ones are kind of, yeah. I don't know if you showing when I was seeing the feedback. I had several errors that were not clear, but I haven't done that much of parser combinators yet. Like, but yeah, I will take a look. I think the interface. I've seen it checking Google or Hackett. Okay, so we do parse. What's the signature? So the first I assume is the parser. So we want the classes parser. Then it's the source name, the string, and the iter. Those would be the path, I guess. The contents, then we get the Rust code. Here. Left? How do I map left? Oh. There. I don't know, but there was by map. By monitor has a map for the left, right? First, map covariantly over the first argument. Yeah, I want to map the left, which is the first. Board. Yeah. qualified by 5, I don't know. 5. This is the error. Either string type AST. Okay. Yes, this is the parser that we want to use. Okay, so extract classes works. I'm always forgetting traverse. So I will have, yeah, I think it works. So I have the list of files and that's all I need. Use classes, traverse with extract classes, the files. Expected. I have a list of iders. So YF map that to sequence. Yes. Okay. So yeah, I think that's what we wanted. So all of most. Hello, Pasha. How are you doing? The best programmer in the world. That's you, man. ¿Cómo estás, mi amigo? Okay, so we parse all of these files. And most of them didn't have anything, but some got, right? So we probably could map to join and get a single list. No, because it's yeah, here that we want to do that. I'm great, how are you? I'm doing good. I'm not writing Go code, but I'm doing good. I haven't written Go code in a long time. So we could join these, right? Yes, and now we get the list. Yeah. There it up. Or do we want to transform it to a set? We could map these to the F map. Yeah. Seems like it parses fast. Like the one that takes longer is this one. Yeah, okay. Okay, so what do we want? What do we want to do now? We have the list of classes that are used. Here we have the list of all the available classes, and we probably, yeah, and we want to generate now the file with only the used classes. So let's add another. Let's make a break first for like 2 minutes, and I will be back. I will go drink some water. I always confuse those. No, there. Be back in 2 minutes. I'm back, Pasha. Don't miss me. Oh man, professional streamer. I went through all the scenes instead of the right one. Are you doing parser for classes from CSS file with Haskell? What I'm doing, yeah, I didn't explain what I'm doing after people join. So it will take a second. So that I'm working on a pure script project. There are so many languages involved. And I think I showed this, but I don't know if you joined. So there is this. No. Yeah. Don't worry. I can explain. So there is this script from the in the pure script forum that Miles shared, and it generates. Let me see. It generates all the classes for Tailwind. So you write basically something like that, right? The T dot, and this is all with the autocomplete and everything that you can use in your script, and those are the classes for Tailwind. The problem is that that results in a very big file. So, oops. I was writing in the chat instead of here. Yeah, so that results into this file, which has 76,000 lines and around 20 or 19,000 classes, basically. So it's it's a big file, And to be honest, I'm not using most of those, right? So what I want to do is generate, so go through the code. Yeah, exactly. So the autocomplete is useful, but it's too many lines. But most of those lines I'm not using. So I want to go through the code, and we can find here the occurrences of T. So these are all the ones that I'm using in the code, right? So what I want to do is go through the list of files where I'm using those classes, list them, and when since I have now the list of all of the ones that are used, looks like, well, they are repeated here, but looks like this, yeah, for sure less than 19,000. And what happened? 1 second. Yeah, it's for sure less than 19,000, right? So I want to go through the list, through the files that are using it, extract all of those, and then the file, generate this file again, only with the ones that I'm using. So these files, instead of being 76,000 lines, will be, I don't know, 1,000 or something, or less. So it should be faster, because the problem is that the I don't really get a good autocomplete experience, and because there is so much stuff to parse that I don't really get a good autocomplete. The problem is that then I will want to use a class that is not generated, so I will have to run it every time I add a new class. But I might find ways later to see if I can, for example, not only input. So you see, for example, here I use MT6, but there are like MT4, MT5, MT7. Yeah, I can do auto update, but I can also, I was thinking I could do something like the similar classes, the ones that are. So if I have MT6 here, it might be the case that I want to try MT4, right? So I was thinking to include also the ones that are close to it, but that will be an optimization. And so far, yeah, extracting all the classes runs quite fast. You saw that, right? So it might take like a second or two to regenerate all of them, and that's not so much time. So now I think we should try to. But what if you want to try M2, but it not exists, and autocomplete will suggest you? Yeah, autocomplete will not suggest me. You mean, okay, that's a good point. So I have. Let's see here. CSS. Yeah, so I have here the list of the existing classes. So the idea is to only generate existing ones, right? So this is the list of all the existing classes with their name in the code. The CSS class is a bit different than the name in the code. So I already did the parser for that. So basically I will include only the ones that are in that list. Okay, so try to generate these. Tailwind yours. So we get a list of strings. We get a list of CSS classes, I think, and we should return a string or text. Okay, right, so what was it? Yeah, CSS class. This is the pair. Okay, so how did it look? We will have is there text and line? Text. Hello, hello. How you doing, Samian? Should I call you Samian? Is that okay? It's what I'm working on. That's a good question. Okay, Samian. Yeah, I'll try to remember that. So you're working with PeerScript, right? So someone in the PeerScript forum shared this approach to generate the classes for working with Halogen. The type-safe way to generate all the Tailwind classes. And the problem is this generates this file that, if you see here, it's 76,000 lines long. So it's quite big and it makes the language server super slow. Every time you save something, it just has to it becomes really slow. So I'm writing a program that will go through my code and will look for all the usages of that, and then it will filter out and will only here show the classes that are being used. So yeah, and we did already a part of it, so we are able to list all the PureScript files in a project, and then we are able to extract here all the classes that are being used. And now the part that we're missing is to to basically do the templating of this file. So let's, this will go here. Is there a text and line? But I'm writing this in Haskell, actually, because parsers are faster in Haskell than Node. So so now we just want to basically generate the file. We want the line in between, and we probably want one more line here. I think we can just do it like this. None of us, nobody has gamed Haskell yet. Okay, so I want to import text alone. Yes. So now we are. How do we do this? We will have the strings, so these are the used classes, and these are the available classes. So we want to map. We want to first filter the I don't know, the filter with some F the available classes. Right. And what the F will do? Are you archiving those streams somewhere? Yes. So there is the YouTube channel. Yeah, I can imagine that. Yeah, the time can be not the best. So the YouTube channel, I upload some stuff there, not all. And the goal should be to actually produce a bit of a better quality videos, not just upload the whole stream with like a shorter topic, but so far I'm uploading everything. And then you can also check the Twitch, right? Twitch.tv /videos. I think that should be. Yeah, so after the stream finishes, you will find the videos here. And then from here I export it to YouTube. Thank you. Thank you. So, but if you want to like watch tomorrow, just whatever was in the stream, Twitch is better because it's instantly there as soon as the stream ends. Right. Okay, so this will we'll take CSS class, which will have the name this CSS. Yeah. We want to ignore the CSS, and we want to say if type this one type of lm. Yeah, so takes first the a. So if the name is element of the used classes, we keep it. Okay. Yeah, so this will be to actually just so now we can map what we want. I think we can implement the show of these. Like that, the signature of it. Yeah. So CSS class, and this is the name, the CSS, and we print it like. But show is to string. I don't want to. That's online. Then we will have the name. Class. Then we have the name. then the CSS, and then put closing. Oh. Right, so this is the show instance of the CSS class. So now we can do here just map show. And then this is a string actually. So we might want to map text back, updated text, open. Yes. There. First. Yes, but no. Intercalate. Yes, intercalate. Oh. Text intercalate with a new line. Then maybe intersperse. No. Yeah, so intercalate, but we will put two new lines. Then class. Okay, so now let's try to do Tailwind file where we have foo and bar as classes. Then we have CSS class foo, I don't know, foo, CSS class bar, bar text, and CSS class bus, which is the one that will not be included. And then text IO put okay, so this is what we got, and it seems like it's right. We are getting also lines after. One, two. Do we have? Where do we have? Have a new line here. Okay, that's better. Does unlines add the line at the end as well? Or is it the same as intercalate end? Okay, I think we can live with it. I think the autocomplete, so it will be called if in addition to classes you also say how often they are used, the count, and then in autocomplete the classes will be sorted by frequency of use. I think in the autocomplete they are sorted by the relevance to the thing you start typing. I don't think it, yeah, but I could do some sort of report like the most used class. That could be something interesting. But okay, so far what's, yeah, this is just saying that I should use, I don't know, text, underline, whatever. Okay, so actually what this list here is the used classes, right? And this list here is the CSS class, right? Very, yeah, readable classes. So and I think I'm missing one step. Okay, so this is what we are generating. So far so good. We're doing things, I know, but I think we're repeating ourselves. So I need to, first of all, there was a space required here. Yeah, the space there. Okay. Text write file, so we will write it on dev have the content, we can write it here. So now we have a 269 line file, which is much better than what we had before. But I have the impression that we are repeating ourselves. So for example, we are not. That's cool. Yeah, we are not, because we are filtering the list here. Right, so we filter the list. This list of use classes actually has repeated ones. But because we filter from the list of available classes, we don't repeat, and they then are written in the order that these are read. So that's it. So what happens now if, yeah, so this is, we have 269, and if I add here the text gray, I don't know, this one, and I run it again, Now we added another one. Okay, so now let's put some order into that, because now we are doing too much print. We don't need to print, we don't need to print, and we don't need to print, and we don't need to there. Okay, now files. This file's not supposed to fail. I mean, it could, but we are ignoring. Okay, so let's save for now. So, stuff. First file. File. Okay. What do we have to do now? Now we need to add the CLI stuff. And the error handling. So share the link to this repo. Yes, you can do project like that, and it should give you, yeah, there are some other commands there. For example, Discord or schedule. What else? YouTube is a link to YouTube, my GitHub, the FPers link, which is this one. Basically the list of the other guys that are also streaming. There should be something like commands, right? Give you the commands, but not that. Yeah, professional streamer, Pasha. I'm a professional streamer. Okay, so this is interesting. Haskell people, can I do apply twice? So I have, but that I don't need to apply twice actually. Okay, so I have the available classes and the used class, right? And I can fmap that, then I can apply that. But now this is content, and then case content of, right? Content, and we will write give it a different name, then we put str file still in at first updated successfully, and in the left But I think the problem is parse from file. Yes. F first. Oh. Okay, so what do we do? What did we do here? So the result of this is of type IO of either string or the list of strings. So this is a list of classes, but they either has the option of a failure. So we get an error message. Here we have something similar, but instead we have the CSS class, the list of available classes, and then here if we have both, we generate the contents with tailwind parse. And then we pattern match on that, right? So it should show, tailwind updated successfully.